the mountain meditation. Now, this is a meditation that's best done in a seated position, and it's quite important that we get our posture right here. So, if we just find ourselves sitting in a chair and make sure that your feet are apart, just shoulder width apart, and that they're flat on the ground, and make sure that you're sitting comfortably, but not so comfortably that you may sleep. We begin this meditation by just closing our eyes and bringing into focus in our minds a mountain that we know. Now, this may be a mountain we've climbed. It may be a mountain that you've looked at, or it might be a sort of archetypal mountain like Mount Everest or Snowdon or Mount Fuji. But just spend a few moments just finding your mountain. And hold it in your mind's eye. And now, just look at that mountain in your mind's eye and notice its lofty peak, and as it reaches up into the sky. And maybe your mountain is snow-capped. Maybe it's not. Just look at it. Pay attention in a particular way now, with curiosity as we look at that mountain in our mind's eye, and we notice that the slopes are solid and graduated, and take into account the sheer massiveness and solidity of your mountain, noticing that as it merges into the land below, it remains this huge, immovable, ever-present object. Noticing that it is anchored into its own surroundings by its sheer massiveness. And as we take our attention to the mountain and imagine the way that mountain is buffeted by the wind, by the frosts, by the weather, and that mountain just sits there, and the summer bakes the rock, and then the autumn comes, and then the cold, cold winter, frosts and snow and wind and hail and rain, moves into spring and summer again. And whilst the seasons change, the mountain remains constant. Maybe we can be our own mountain. Bring your attention now to your head and just elongate your spine and your neck, reaching your head up as though your head were the lofty peak of that mountain. And your shoulders and your arm and your chest are the slopes of that mountain. And bring an awareness to the core of you. And your core can be just like the core of that mountain. Strong, immovable, ever-present. And find your center, as you sit there, the solidity of you, the immovability of you, and stay with that. And notice that your feet are anchored to the ground like the roots of that mountain. And sit with it and hold that sense of strength, immovability, unshakability. Hold that. And the stuff that happens in our lives, the stresses, the difficulties that swirl around us on a day-to-day basis, just sit with the sense of your mountain, noticing that your mountain breathes. This breathing, sitting, constant mountain, impervious almost to the stuff that happens around us. And hold that sense of taking the mountain into the rest of your day or your evening, feeling that sense of strength and inner stability, holding that, breathing and smiling. Well done. You found your mountain.